Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 93. Don't know why I'm smiling, to be honest, because I'm still quite annoyed with that game, the officiating, which obviously we'll get into. But yeah, obviously we'll just be talking about that today. And then obviously when we come back, which will be obviously a couple of weeks' time now due to the international break, we'll get into that big one so we can just straight get into it. But yeah, like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah, all good. Other than the officiating in that game, do you know what I mean? But obviously, we'll get into that. So yeah, obviously Sunderland. We took on Sunderland at their ground. Obviously, going into it, we both thought we might sneak it. Both did say going into it, we would take a point, given they are a team, who have done well for their first season back in. They are on the, could be on a late push for playoffs potentially, looking, unlikely, but still in for a shout because the points are quite tight from their area upwards. And yeah, obviously it is at the Stadium of Light as well. Obviously, they've got the biggest ground in the league, and rare tear. And yeah, we haven't beat them at their ground for a while as well. 1974. Like I said on the vlog, like we said going into it, you wasn't even born, Dad. Do you know what I mean? That's how long it's been. But obviously it was a draw, as we know. But the lineup, obviously we'll talk about the lineup first. So obviously I'll let you more say your thoughts on it, because obviously I already did on the vlog at the time. So obviously Ethan in goal, Bell, Lockyer, Osho at the back three, Doherty and Drame on the wing backs. Midfield, Nakamba, Campbell and Berry ahead, and then Adebayo and Morris. As for the bench, you had Burke, Clark. Good to see Clark back. Obviously, it's been a few games. Lansbury, Fred, Shea, Taylor, and Woodrow. So, yeah, what did you make when you saw that lineup?
We went, with exactly the same team, innit? So, and obviously, if we'd had a few more, this is why I might, the depth, like, I don't know, like if Burke was fit, he might have started, give Osho a rest, whatever. Bradley, he's not up to match. So I think that affected us a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And obviously the lack of depth really up front as well. Clark obviously weren't ready to start, and wasn't. You could still see that he's feeling the effects of the whatever injury he had anyway. So that's the only thing really, because we went with exactly the same team. Do you know what I mean? And I thought,
yeah,
they're good players and that, but sometimes this is where you need like a little bit more depth. And I know we normally have it, but with Cornick going, and I know everyone's not his greatest fan or whatever, but it could have offered something different. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is, isn't it? The strongest lineup we could go with. Still should have been strong enough to get a result. Well, they were, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, obviously going into the game now. Obviously, the first half, it's one where I felt we had more chances. They had a chance literally come out of nowhere. The one where it hit a post. But we had a few decent chances, I'd say. We look like, how we have been under Rob Edwards at times, where we pass the ball around and we look very good. The quick passing, you saw that a lot with the, both sides, the left and the right. But it's just one of them where it's been like what a lot of first halves has been like, and we just, haven't been able to break through. That's what it felt like to me, really. What was the first half like to you?
They just weren't, you could see that they were a bit, tired. Other than that, only played on Wednesday. Same as Sunderland, they, similar. Again, a lot of travel. And that's what happens sometimes, you know what I mean? And also I think partly maybe some of them didn't want to potentially get an injury. I don't know, for the next few games coming up and stuff like that. But I don't know. Do you know what I mean? The next game obviously is a big one. I don't think it's so much now. I just think that they've done a lot of work recently in 3 games like in quick succession, still got 7 points. Possibly could have had 9. Still good return, but it is when you're playing that quickly, they'd have had a day of rest and then little training probably, and then journey up there. They would have stayed overnight. I doubt they would have made the journey on the Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
No chance.
That it is what it is. That's football. But that's what I'm adhering to with the. If we'd have had a couple more players that have, had more match time on the bench, then we could have changed it up a little bit. Lansbury's on the bench, or whatever, but he's been out for ages. Woodrow's on the bench, but he'd come on anyway. The youngster from Peterborough, he's not really. He's definitely not up to speed, is he? And it's one of them games where you're not going to make too many risks as well. I mean, you're not going to totally change the front line. Everyone will be kicking off if that happened. Do you know what I mean? But we weren't really. That's all it was, and you could see, that's what happens sometimes. And you do find that if teams play on a Wednesday and then they're immediately playing on the Saturday at normal, it's not like it was a late kick-off. They weren't playing on a Sunday. You know what I mean? That's why in the Premier League they get certain teams like that. They won't play. They'll play on the Sunday instead, or the Monday. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in the Championship you don't really get that. So similar for Sunderland as well, but they were at home, so that probably a little bit extra time. It's a bit like that. We still looked all right. We still played all right. Do you know what I mean? Like I was listening to the Sunderland commentators, and they were like, "Oh, Luton have been not terrible, but surprised that they haven't played that well." And we played well enough. They were like, "Oh, they're really sloppy." It wasn't that bad. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't frustrating like that. It was just you could see they were still putting the effort in. It wasn't like they were all like 100% and there was a couple of sloppy passes. It was just that little. They were at 90% or whatever, 80%. So that's what I felt. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I thought the first time.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Like I said, I felt it's one where we had the more chances. Obviously, they had that chance out of nowhere off the post. But, yeah, it was one of them, like you say, that can play a part, the turnaround, journey, etc., within quick succession as well. Obviously, it was unchanged lineup as well, like I mentioned as well. So, see that. It's that as well. But obviously going into the second half, that's where this game was spoken about a lot, of course. Obviously, we'll start off with the goal, which we got. Now, obviously, Doherty with the goal. Bit of a scrappy goal, but we don't care. We'll take it. There was a thing saying, the free kick shouldn't have been where it was, rare tear. I'll be real, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just thinking, what can we actually do on this free kick? Can we try and, take the lead? Obviously, we did. But, yeah, scrappy goal, but we'll take it, won't we, Dad?
Yeah, the thing is, like with it, again, I didn't really. The only reason I noticed it was because the commentators said about it. They grabbed 10 yards extra or whatever. But the point is with that as well, like, you grabbed 10 yards extra, but the ball was played in, it come out again to him, and he shot from 25 yards. So, you know what I mean? It weren't like we swung it into the box and someone got their header on it because you know what I mean? So, players do that all the time. Throw-ins, they run 10 yards down the flipping line. It happens. There's too much of that. So all players, they're footballers. If they think they can get away with it, they get away with it. Like, it is what it is. It's down to the officials to go, no, back. But
Facts.
If you're not doing that, then just deal with it. Do you know what I mean? That's what happens. But like I said, you know, it weren't really like we gained from it in that respect. You know what I mean? And their keeper, got caught out. You know, I wouldn't say it's scrappy. I'd say it was a bit fluke there, but you know, he still went for it. If you know what I mean? If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the prize. You know what I mean? And it was obviously like a training ground routine.
Yeah.
But they had plenty of bodies back, and you know, sometimes when you're riding high, you get that little sort of bit of luck there, you know, and then well, look what happened at the end anyway. So I can't really complain about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously the game started getting
Quite annoying as well, because I think I said that he would score as well.
Yeah, he did. I thought Dre would score. He got the assist, but yeah, it was one of them. But yeah, and then obviously the other talking point of the game. Obviously, I'm just going to go straight to it. The penalty. My God, seriously, I'm still fuming to this day. Oh, mate, I could not believe it. Honestly, I could not believe it. I literally, lucky, I can recover videos that I delete, because I deleted that video because there was a massive hole, and I was thinking, yeah, that's not a penalty. You know, that's not something I'm going to need to put on the vlog. Look up, penalty. What is going on? Seriously, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe that was a penalty. I didn't even need to look at it again. Usually I do on my phone if I've got a good angle. Didn't even need to. My God, I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I could not believe it. Shocking decision, wasn't it? Absolutely shocking.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, I had the benefit of watching it on there, but my initial reaction was like, no, it's not a penalty. Like, you know, there was no tangle of legs or nothing like that. It was just he just sort of pulled away from. Yeah, they were, you know, had hold of the arm on that, but that's not a penalty. Like players that people like dry hump each other in the box on corners and shit. The ref won't do nothing. Like that happens all the time. And then he just sort of moved himself. He died. He threw himself on the floor. The ref see it for what it was and said, no, it ain't a penalty. I don't know what the linesman saw. I have no idea what the linesman saw. Do you know what I mean? Because he can't be, you've got to be sure, 100% certain. The referee's got a better position. Do you know what I mean? And he's gone, no, I don't know what he said to him. Do you know what I mean? But listen, it happens to all the teams. Like, it happens to us. Well, it happens to every single team in the championship, and probably in the leagues below as well. It happens a lot. So from us, you just got to take it as we're owed one. I mean, Sheffield United, their goal previously against Sunderland shouldn't have counted. They had like players offside, right? So then they got their decision today. Do you know what I mean? Well, not today, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Put it back. So things work out like that. I'm not saying, the linesman was told to, if you get an opportunity to flag for it, that ain't happening. There's no conspiracy against us getting to the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that nonsense.
It's just crap, substandard. But like refereeing, like how do they not get held accountable? You know what I mean? I know they get reviewed, and I know that the team and that can issue a report of what they felt of the refereeing and but it's like a conveyor belt of wanking shit referees. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I just don't understand why he's in the magnitude.
Why couldn't the referee just go, it's not a penalty? I saw it, it's not a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Like, was the linesman more senior than him or something? You know, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. He didn't appeal for the penalty either. None of the players appealed for the penalty. The commentator, none of the fans appealed. Well, it might have been a half-hearted. You know, there's 30-odd thousand in there. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a certain percentage, but no, it was just a joke. And then when it got, I thought that, no one to say shit about Ethan not saving it. Yeah. The fact is, it wasn't. And when you get done with a decision like that, sometimes you're just like, oh, do you know what I mean? And yeah, it was half decent penalty, and then it turned the game, which because they got a goal, we was all like, the whole team was like, what's going on here? And that to withstand some pressure. But at the end of the day, what it is, still got a point. We said we'd take it. I had a sneaky feeling about anyway, and we'll just deal with it and move on. Like, it's not really affected us too much in the table. We've got that break now. Let's hope we can get a couple, players that ain't on international duty or whatever, still training, because that still be going on. Certain players trying to get back up to a bit of fitness. Maybe it'd be a development game for some players, and then just go again. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that things like that gives you a bit more incentive to go out and do really well in the next game anyway. So could it do us a favour and it happens all the time. We had it
in the next game.
We had it last year. We had it like it can change, but the thing is, sometimes it can change. It could be like it's going to be a point where it's a massive decision. We've had it time and time again throughout the years. York City in the playoff final, offside not. We've just loads of times with the goal last season, which was ruled out for offside when Musgrave scored, which would have confirmed against Blackpool, which we could have confirmed our playoff place then and helped his career potentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just happens too much. Like off linesman as well. Do you know what I mean? What's he said to him? No, he like what? But there's nothing afterwards. Like Sunderland got an apology after their game because it's Sheffield United and they're meant to both be massive clubs or whatever. What did we get? I haven't heard anyone come out and apologize. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't heard any. Oh no, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Where's the league table? Where's the Ofsted report or whatever on these these referees? Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? You get some clowns going, yeah, it was definitely a penalty, and you lot were time wasted. Every single team in the Championship time wastes at some point. So exactly. Get that tit for tat crap. It happens.
They're doing the same thing.
Something to play for. Teams with something to play for tend to do it a little bit more. If you're doing it and you've got nothing to play for, you obviously you've got an issue with the team. You know what I mean? Like, Woodrow doing what he done. That's twice in 2 games. The other game he was on the pitch and he deliberately. But like, why are you doing that? If I was Rob Edwards, I wouldn't have even brought him on after that. Do you know what I mean? There's just no need for it. It's a yellow card for what? Lockyer was getting ratty as well. Again, after we've been praising him for the last few games for not being like that. And going into the game also said, yeah, I think we'll edge it because Sunderland's discipline will let them down. Well, it's pretty much the other way around. Do you know what I mean? We were lucky in the end that we did get a point.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have brought him on. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't be letting players get away with certain things like that. It was stupid.
It was, yeah, it was.
I mean, like, stop. You just like I said to you a couple of days ago. He's reminding me of like Danny Hilton the way he's going on. He's just get on the pitch and do what you're good at. Score goals and that. Stop like all these antics, man. We don't need to be doing that anymore. We let the football doing the talking. We don't need them sort of things going on now. So, yeah, it was just annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was.
It's done, isn't it? It's done. I'm sure we'll see more. I swear to God, if something happens in the playoffs, not with any team, and they get done, or the watch didn't go off to say it was over the line or something like that. Like, it seriously needs to be looked into. You can't have such high stakes, high, value games like that being decided by inept officials. You can't have it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Not just in the Championship, and at any level. Obviously they've got the benefit of VAR, which, in the Premier League or whatever, or in certain FA Cup games. But even then, they're like just making some things. It's going to take a few years for it to finally settle down. There'll be chops and changes here and there, and that's to be expected. But it just seems like the referees have just got worse because of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're relying too much on. I don't know what they're relying on. Maybe if they've been working with VAR and then they go to a different game and then they've got that in the back of their mind. But then I don't know what it is. But it's not good. And if there's loads of stuff I could talk about it. Like, after watching the Man U thingy game yesterday as well, the way the officials were treated, the referee in that game, like, it works both ways as well. Do you know what I mean? But it's almost like they haven't got that respect that they used to have. Do you know what I mean? Remember that bald referee from years ago? No one messed with him. That guy used to do all the Italian. I think he was Italian and that. You know what I mean? Certain referees, they would just that'd be it. You wouldn't take no nonsense of that. No, I don't know. It's just, mate, there'll be stuff coming out, I'm sure, within a few months about, because they got to come out and back themselves somehow. Do you know what I mean? They just never seem to kind of defend themselves. Not, you know what I mean? Only if it's like they do a review show on the Sky Sports, if it's a Premier League thing. Go, should he been sent off? Well, in the yeah. Embarrassing. If you can't handle heat, get out of the kitchen. Simple as that. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, throat's gone dodgy. To me, like I said, I just don't get why he was in the magnitude of this type of game. I just really don't understand it. Never managed in the Championship. Two teams top end. Sunderland, like I said, could have a late push. Us, we were obviously in there. I just don't understand why he was in it. Like, at that stadium as well, because I think that had a massive part to do with the penalty. The crowd. Because he said no, and then they started roaring, and bang, there you go.
Whatever. It's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. Moving on to the player ratings, straight like that. So obviously we'll start off with Ethan. I thought he was decent. The penalty, couldn't really do anything. Shouldn't have been a penalty anyway. He claimed it a few times. I liked when he calmed Lockyer down. That was good from him. He's done that a few times when Lockyer's been on a bit of a mad one there. And yeah, I thought he was all right. To be honest. So yeah, I'm going to go with 7.5.
Yeah, same. I thought he was pretty decent, to be fair, in this game. And he had there was always dropped it and that, but keepers do that all the time, mate. They just over exaggerate. He does it a couple of times, but it's almost like he's got control of it before you even worry about it. Because do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not even worried about nonsense like that. What did their keeper do? Do you know what I mean? I thought he was pretty decent, actually. I'm sure he made a couple of saves.
Oh yeah, he made a good save actually in the second half. Was it second half? Yeah, second half. Right.
From it might have been 09 or someone like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it
he
was.
did make a good save. I thought he was right. Do you know what I mean? And he probably, if it weren't for the penalty, he would save would have kept us in the game. So 7.5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then moving on, we'll go over to Osho. Again, I thought he was pretty decent. Obviously, his long range passing's good. You know, he's his name you put in the team sheet at the moment. You know, you look to see him on, starting games at the moment with how he's been. Yeah, I didn't really think he put a foot wrong, to be honest with you. So I'll just go another 7.5.
I don't think they got it. Like they were all pretty like tired and that, so they weren't as good, but they weren't terrible. If that makes sense, so they were like just a bit above average for me. I'm just going to give them a 7.
Fair enough. And then moving on to Lockyer. Obviously, did lose his head, which it was good that Ethan calmed him down. Like I said, did do some good blocks though. I did feel in this game. There was 2 on the vlog that I got that were very, very good. Yeah, it's just that thing. Obviously, I love to see players' passion, but sometimes he gets a bit too frustrated. I feel, and if that, look at the Burnley game for example, he got sent off because of it. I like to see the passion, but sometimes I feel it's a little bit too much, and it could be, a sending off that we don't want, and it's not ideal. So,
Oh yeah, exactly. Look at the Man U Fulham game yesterday. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. So for me, did do some good blocks. It was just. I'm gonna go for 7.
Yeah, I'll give him. I'll give him a 7. It was decent, really. Other than that, there was a
Yeah,
couple
exactly. And like I said, he made some vital blocks.
where he lost the ball and then he recovered it again. He's definitely confident. But yeah, 7.
Yeah. And then moving on to Bell. Bell, I thought he was really good again, especially in that first half. People I went with for saying, we were saying how good he was in that first half. Wasn't a penalty, as we know. So I'm not, no one's going to blame him for that. So yeah, Bell, he's my man of the match. I'm not even going to lie. People will probably say not because he gave away the penalty, but I thought he was good in the first half, to be honest. The way he was going forward, taking on players. A lot of players were, because of the tiredness, you could see they were losing the ball quite easily at times, whereas I felt Bell was a standout for not doing that. So for me, Bell, my man of the match, I'll go with what should I go with? Go with 8.
Yeah, I agree. He was my man of the match. He was. I mean, we've seen it before with this guy. When we thought he was coming back from playing for Jamaica and that night. His energy is pretty much unmatched, to be fair. And he showed that in this game. And he was unlucky. He was bursting forward on a few occasions. Not even going to go on about the penalty because it won't. He didn't give away the penalty. The linesman did. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, he was stand out. And I just want him to score again. You know what I mean? Yeah, 8.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then moving on to the wing backs, we'll start off with Dre May. I thought he was good, to be honest. He was going forward a lot in that first half. Good link up play, like I said. We had good link up play, I felt, in the first half on the left and right side. It's a bit of mix and match in that sense. Yeah, I thought he was decent. Yet again. Earned us a corner a few times. Yeah, I thought he was decent. I'll go for 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. Again, he's maybe got a bit. He hasn't played as much football as the rest of the lads over the season and stuff like that. So maybe a little bit more energy and that. Yeah, and he did get an assist.
Yeah, for the goal. Yeah, as well.
Again. So yeah, and he's looking quite assured on that. Do you know what I mean? But you need the rest of the team to be on the same level, and they weren't. They were just a bit off it. But he was all right. Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the goal scorer for us, Doherty. He did call it. It's a fair play, Dad. He did call it. Like I said, we'll take the goal however it comes. I did like the way we took it as well. Obviously, I didn't really mention that, but I did like the way we done that little, Dre May playing it back to him. Off the training ground, like Dad said earlier. And yeah, he got a goal. He was decent, in the first half, going forward on that left-hand side a lot as well. And yeah, he's another regular name on the team sheet at the moment, isn't he? Let's be honest. Like I said, for me, he's up there for debate. You could say, the best player since Rob Edwards has come in. Under him, maybe. But he's definitely up there for me. And yeah, he was decent. People give him man of the match. I do understand that as well. Given he scored, he was good. So I'll go with 7.5.
Yeah, it's the same, and he come off in the second half, didn't he? I think he was feeling it quite a bit. And I think when they normally cover their mouths and that, like the coaches and that, whoever walked off with him, it looked like he said to him, look, mate, you've got a nice 2-week break now or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So,
and just quickly, loved the celebration, running over. That was class.
Yeah, 7.5. You know what you're getting from Daly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Nakamba. Yeah, a lot of people give him man of the match, and again, I do understand that. He was very good. He's just gelling in so much better now. Like I said, we always knew his quality was there. It's just sometimes I don't think he was quite used to the Championship football, where sometimes you can't, be as...
You don't get that much time on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. You saw it in the Preston game, the game I always mentioned, for example, what nearly happened there. But he's just, he was just brilliant winning that ball back. He was exceptional. I saw this thing, I think it's like 90% of something is covered by this, and then the rest is Nakamba or something like that. But yeah, no, he was really good. He was really good in this game. I remember a point on the vlog where he won the ball back, and then we went forward. I didn't quite get that bit, but I got him going forward. It was just a slight heavy pass on Morris, but again, he was good. He was good in this game. And like I said, if people give him man of the match, totally understand. I'm going to go for 7.5 again.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. Yeah, close as well. Again, very energetic. Similar to Dre, maybe that he hadn't played a lot of football. He's got that slight, probably more energy than that. And he was involved in quite a lot, and he gets forward. Now he's all over the pitch, but I've noticed him getting forward quite a lot in this game, more trying to affect things and stuff. So you can see he wants to do well, like maybe potentially end up signing for us. Do you know what I mean? Because the guy is 29. He could probably play for a good few more years, but judging by him, but still, don't know what wages he'd be on there, but if we get promoted and that, I'm sure we'll be trying to keep him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he has got that quality. He's just everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And again, his passing is pretty spot on. Again, he's always looking for the right pass, the clever pass. Yeah, 7.5. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And then moving on to Campbell. Again, I thought Campbell was decent. He was. It's not the best I've seen him, but he was decent. He was in the midfield, doing what he tends to do. I thought he was all right. I'm going to go for a rating I've never gone with. I'm going to go for 7.3.
Yeah. I should give him a 7. I thought he was half decent again, but not up to his usual sort of standards. And again, the team was like that. Some of them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just 7.
Yep, fair enough. Moving on to the next player, which is obviously Berry. Berry, he was okay. I did remember a time, obviously it's on the vlog as well, where he did manage to keep it on, and then not quite the bit after, but the way he kept it on originally, I was like, fair play. I thought that was going out all day of the week, or any day of the week, whatever the saying is. It was okay. Obviously, we know, he weren't, not up to full match fitness yet, but obviously we would like to see Clark, obviously, ahead of him in that sense. But Berry, obviously, I've said it before, I do want to see him start more, because I do feel there is games where he does something that sometimes the other midfielders don't do, which is, take that pop shot, get into that space and and give us a chance. Look at the goal against Blackpool away this season, for example. Look at the long range strike against Millwall to get us a point. I feel he does that quite a lot of times, but he was okay. He was okay. As for a rating, I'm just going to go with 7.
Yeah, same. Like there was times where I was looking at him, I was thinking, when you look at some players, sometimes you think you've got to be doing better than that to like cut it in the way the squad's developing and stuff like that. No, he's got ability in that, but long term, I don't know. But he got into the box I think it was in the first half, just missed out on getting like a shot away in that. But I just sometimes I feel with Berry, he has to have everyone else playing really well around him for him to sort of almost go unnoticed when he does go in the box or things like that. But it weren't the greatest. 7.
Yeah, fair enough. Then moving on to the 2 up front. We'll start off with who should we start off with? Start off with Morris. We'll start off with Morris today. Now it's one of them where I felt he was okay. Yet again, he was getting fouled left, right, and centre, grabbed onto. Remember a moment in the second half, Campbell played a long ball to him, and he was just getting grabbed. I don't know how that wasn't a foul. It just. I shouldn't really be shocked, should I? Because you see it happen to our strikers all the time, and literally nothing happens. Do you know what I mean? He was all right. Again, another player for me where you could see the tiredness, fatigue was there. As for a rating, I'll go with 7.
Yeah, just 7 as well. But both the strikers are similar. That they weren't, all that in this game. And I can't remember. He was getting involved in that, but there wasn't much really that I can remember majorly. So yeah, just 7, just.
Yeah, fair enough. And then obviously the last striker, obviously Elijah, like I said, similar in sense. Again, you can see he was a player who had the tiredness there. He was quite sloppy at times, I felt, in the first half. He gave away the ball quite a lot. It was a little bit annoying, but I'm not going to be too critical on him. As for a rating, I'm actually going to go with 6.5.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest for me, but again, it happens sometimes. You can't expect it every single game. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it weren't particularly good. I felt he should have gone off earlier than he did as well. 6.5.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then moving on to the players that come on. Obviously, there was 3 subs for us in this game. Starting off with Clark. Like I said, you can see when he come on, he's not quite match fit yet. Hopefully, given these 2 weeks, hopefully then he will be to maybe start in the derby. I probably would start him, to be honest, if he's obviously available and fit, like fully fit, of course. I'm just gonna go over 7.
Really, I'll give him 6.5. I don't really think he affected the game at all when he come on. He can do.
Yeah.
Because when he did come on, I thought, yeah, that's it. We need that, and he's gonna, get into them positions, make them right. But it just didn't happen. So that's why I was thinking he's still carrying whatever injury he had, or that's possibly. So, but yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, and going back to what you just said there, a lot of people that were at the ground, they were like, "Yes, good sub, here we go." Like the same as you, obviously, given what you said there, and I thought the same. To be honest, I thought the same, but yeah, like you say, he's clearly not there yet. And then moving on to the next player, Fred, who come on for Doherty, so obviously come into that left wing back role. Massive shout out to him before the game as well. He did take a picture with a Sunderland fan. So yeah, I don't know if you heard about that, Dad, or saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so massive shout out to him there. When he come on, obviously come on 15 minutes left. Didn't do anything bad, didn't do anything wrong. Again, I'll just go with another 7.
6.5, same. Come on, he like I say, but I think there was a couple of occasions where he was like, slowing the play down and that, and trying to manage the game and that for us. Do you know what I mean? So, weren't too bad. 6.5.
Yeah. And then moving on to the last sub, I already think I know what you're going to give him. Woodrow, obviously, before he even come onto the pitch, obviously he had a yellow card. You shouldn't have done it. I'll say at that time, obviously, going, he's one of our own. Yeah, that was sick and that, but he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have thrown it out. It's the way he tried acting like innocent as well when he done it. It's just a bit annoying. I don't really understand why he come on as well. Like I said, especially given he's on the yellow. I'm just gonna go with a 6.5.
Nah, mate, I'm giving him straight 5, man. If I was him, I wouldn't have took him on. Yeah, like how you getting a yellow card before you even come on the pitch?
I know. Oh dear.
Come on the pitch, make a sloppy tackle, you're off. You know what I mean? You get banned for the next game and all that. Like, no, and it ain't like I wouldn't have put him on because it ain't like he's scored when he has come on recently. Do you know what I mean? I'd have given the young lad a chance. I would have in this game. I would have. They wouldn't have probably studied him either. Do you know what I mean? He could have just turned up, back post, bang, mate, or something like that. No, for me, I was not. That just annoyed me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a bit, but we're not like why we don't need to time waste that blatantly either. He needs to stamp down on a couple of things like that. Rob Edwards. I think sometimes there was a thing before where he said Morris didn't want to come off for it in some game or something because he, come on, man, like have a word with him, mate. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't impressed, and when he come on, he done nothing anyway. And we was all excited about him signing and stuff like that.
We was more excited about him than Morris.
Much of a chance in that, yeah. But doing things like that, it just annoys me. Just no need, especially when you're just out there warming up. You know what I mean? And you've done it in a game before. You're getting pointless yellow cards. Go and score some goals. Do you know what I mean? No, don't. I'm going down hard like that. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not having it. 5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But yeah, there you go, people. There are the player ratings. Obviously, both give Bellman a match. Both give them 8. But yeah, overall, we said we'll take the point going into it. It's just frustrating the way, they got the point, of course. But yeah, obviously, move on. We got break now, and then we move on to a game that we will be fired up for. It's going to happen because of the magnitude of the game. And obviously, the next Hatter show, we'll be able to just get into it. So what I'll do to go through some comments, and then we'll probably wrap up shortly. Hello says, hello to both of you. Big up yourself. One of the first time I backed Luton to win against one of the big teams and a draw. Yeah, where every time I put 1-1. Yeah.
Well, Arsenal is a big team at the moment. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a new thing as well. Follow TikTok page. I did make a new TikTok page earlier. So yeah, follow that up. And I'll probably I'm going to try and post more Luton clips on it. So like stuff from this, for example, blogs and match reactions, stuff like that really. So yeah, make sure you do check that out. And just stuff on the channel, but more Luton stuff I'm going to try and post on it. And obviously subscribe to the extra channel if you haven't already. Harry saying, Diallo, typical Man United player. Well, look at the way they're rolling about against Liverpool. I definitely hear what you're saying. So yeah. Sunderland fan, I think you lot we've robbed the refs in this league are really bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just that. You only notice it because it affects your club sort of thing, but it does. It is pretty much across the board. Do you know what I mean? I've seen it plenty of times. Even watching championship games, I'm just like, what was that? Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what they need. They just need to stop it. If the ref's like, no, it's not a penalty, and he's got the best angle, and he's the man in the middle, he should have said just over. What did I forget it? I don't even know what the linesman said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, honestly.
I'll send them nudes to your wife. I don't know what he said to him. You know,
Oh dear. But this ref just shouldn't. Like I said, he should not be in this game. I'm sorry. No disrespect. He should not be in this game, bro. His first championship game. You're telling me. I don't care if he was the referee in Sunderland games in League One. Championships, higher league. I don't care. They just picked him because he's nearby. Real talk.
I don't know, but see what game he refs next. You know, you should just get demoted, shouldn't you?
It just shouldn't be in the magnitude of this game. Both teams at the top end of the table.
Yeah,
Obviously, we're in the playoffs. They're fighting for play. Oh, well, it's a late chance they could get in there. You know, I'm not saying they will. I just don't get why he's in this game. At Sunderland's grounds as well, one of the biggest grounds where they're just the crowd's gonna be on it. And I think that and the linesman, like I said, had a thing in the decision. Because as soon as the roar went up, bang, changed.
I don't know. I'll just forget it. You know what I mean?
It's just, yeah, I know that even the, oh my God, even the whole Reading game, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Blatant handball. Blatant handball. I mean, I was happy though, because I did say 1-1. But
yeah. Again, yeah, we've seen it. Who was we playing? And their player dived and
big up
saved it with his hand. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember? Nothing happened.
Exactly. And like Jackie says here, he shouldn't listen to the linesman. He was miles away. Exactly. Like, it goes back to what you said earlier, Dad, about the referee, where, you know, they're meant to see it in that sense.
Yeah.
You know,
I have heard some people say, "Oh, yeah, you know, his arm, like, you know, right in the box or whatever." So what? You're allowed physical contact. It's not a non-contact sport. He was
like you said, look at the corners.
He was still pushing forward and pulling away. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. So, and the ref could see that. So, you know, it just boils down to what the linesman said. Unless he got confused, because I had someone say, well, if the linesman thinks it's a definite penalty, he has to have the flag, or he puts it out, or he does something with it, or puts it, I don't know, but he didn't do that. Or who cares? It's just done now, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you get, you know, I've said it before. Sometimes you've got to anticipate these things and play through them. But obviously the timing of it didn't help us. But you know, it happens quite a lot. So you have sometimes just got to play through it. You know, it happened to Sheffield United in the cup and all, like, oh, it's a penalty, and that was like with VAR and that was a ridiculous decision. But they come back and they won. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes, you know.
He was shielding it.
Exactly. But what they do, well, they do in the Premier League, and they review at the end of the season. They go, right, let's look at all the decisions that were put them in a box, the ones that were controversial, the ones that were a bit iffy, the ones that need to be ironed out. They should be doing that at all levels. Do you know what I mean? And going, right, this is incident here, Luton against Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? This incident, Sheffield United against Sunderland, blatant offside. We had it as well. Well, who did we play? And their first goal shouldn't have been a penalty or something like that. And then the second goal, like, their player was offside. Do you know what I mean? That's what they should be looking at. Come on, what are you know? And just reviewing it. And so, you know, especially when they're blatant, like, it's just common sense. It's like I was saying earlier, it's like they're influenced by VAR in a way, going, oh, if that was VAR, would they give it? We don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to get promoted to the Premier League level or to use VAR or something. Do you know what I mean? Forget that. It just seems a bit like that at the moment. Maybe you get double bubble if you're doing VAR. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you get overtime or something. I don't know.
I just don't even. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you saw this, Dad. I saw it earlier. Mitrovic, for me, rightly so. You know, disrespecting the referee how he did.
the thing is, they can't just give him a normal 3-game ban because all the players will start doing it. You know,
exactly.
They have to give him a proper punishment for to stop players thinking that they can do that. We moan about the officials and that, but that referee done nothing wrong. It was handball.
Yeah.
Blatant handball. Whether it's going in, whether or not, he put his arm. He put his hand out. You know, it's a red card. Their manager, right, looking at straight away because the ref's going to look at it on as he's supposed to do, because he didn't see it clear, like it was quick, right? So he has to go and look at it, and their manager losing it like that, saying whatever he said to him, idiot. You're setting a precedent then for your players to lose control, so that's all your fault. You can't be blaming the officials in that instance because he's got to look at VAR, and you know that he's going to. And this is the thing, the power that they're trying to have, like it's ridiculous. And then what was Mitrovic's problem? Of course, he's going to send the defender off because it's handball, mate.
Yeah, I know.
So what are you moaning about? What are you saying to it? Great player, disgusting attitude. That's why we wound him up at Kenilworth Road. We're good at winding certain players up like that, and that if we do get promoted, that'll definitely benefit us because players will just lose their rag, some of them. But 10 game, 5 to 10 game, 10 games quite probably too much for me. Do you know what I mean? Considering that's probably you're not playing till the end of the season. Well, not even that. That's it. You're not playing till next season, mate. So 5. They got to set some because he definitely put his hands on him. Mate. Can't be doing that aggressively as well. We got fined for surrounding the FA, the referee, and that. But I see other teams doing it constantly and that, and nothing. What's happening to them? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? You can't just one for one and not for the other. But potential 10-game ban, I don't think it'll be that much. I'd say probably 5.
Yeah. I agree on this one as well. Luis Fernandez should have got saved. I was fuming when he done that. Against Liverpool when he pushed the line.
See it, but again, and that's one of the reasons why they think they can get away with it because of them sort of situations. Need to stop. That'll be stopped anyway. If they don't, from next season, you touch the referee, get in his face, you're going to get sent off. That's it, and that's what will happen.
Yeah.
And the manager, what an idiot. What did he say to him? You're going to check your fucking VAR. Well, of course he's going to check it. You know what I mean? Idiot. Absolute idiot. They were in control of that game. They should just went, all right, is what it is, and then you lost your manager. You're down to 9 men. For me, it was down to the manager. He lost it at that time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just I'll be going on a Sunderland channel in a minute, so I'm just sorting that out. Jackie says they should give him a ban. He moans about everything. Yeah, he does.
He's always had an attitude problem. Great player.
Exactly.
He was really good in that up until that moment. But definitely, he's got a chip. I don't know. Like when he playing game, he just thinks he I don't know. Thinks he should be playing at a higher level. Not with an attitude problem like that, he won't be, mate. Simple as that.
Yeah.
They're definitely banning. It's as free as it is, as it stands. But they will talk about increasing it because they otherwise their referees ain't protected, are they?
Not exactly that. But there you go. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. Any final thoughts you want to say, Dad? Obviously, it's the last time you'll see the people for about 2 weeks.
wash it down the plug hole, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to what you said quickly, about that, it doesn't really affect us, that game in that sense, still in a very good position. So you just got to look at it like that, really. And like I said, the game when we come back, obviously everyone's going to be fired up for that, because of the magnitude of the game. They'll let's be real, they'll be fired up for it as well. As much as they've not been overly great, they're going to be up for it as well. So it's going to be interesting, and hopefully no take two of what happened previously, because that would be shocking. But I don't think that's going to happen, especially at home. So yeah, that's what I've got to say, really. But yeah, nothing else you want to say, Dad?
No, I was just trying to look at what punishment Di Canio got. I'm trying to find out, because he actually pushed a referee over a few years ago, and I can't remember. I don't know what. Don't know, but I'm sure he got like a certain ban or whatever. Yeah, he got a lengthy suspension. So it'll be something similar to that, whatever that was.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just a couple of things, actually, I'm going to talk about quickly. You see Wigan got points deduction. So it's not, today, not too long ago, a couple of hours before we went live.
How many?
I want to say, I don't know, I might be completely wrong, but I think it's only like 3 or something, but it's still going to affect them at the bottom, innit? Because them bottom 3 it's mad for them anyway, innit? Yeah, 3 points. Because they failed to pay our salaries in March this year. Well, literally this month. So, yeah, that's that.
You see, Sheffield United is still potentially looking at points deductions as well this week.
Mm.
If they do the same, but then, even them getting 3 points, 6 points could make things very interesting. But we'll see. Maybe that FA Cup money they pay that'll help them massively. Who knows? I don't know how much you get for winning a quarter final. Probably a few $100,000.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But that's everything I want to say. But yeah, big up also to everyone that's checked out everything recently. The vlog's got over 2,000 views, so big up to yourselves for that. And I was mentioned on quite a lot of Twitter things. They were shouting out my thing as well, so I appreciate that.
It's in your vlog, yeah.
What's that?
So they were referencing your vlog.
Yeah, no, exactly. Never know, you could see that on Ref Watch. No one's got an angle like that. But even Bell saw it quite quickly when it was out, so that was pretty mad. And then obviously I put it out on TikTok. That's got like 75,000 views. So yeah, big up to any of you if you've seen it. And make sure you do follow that new TikTok. Like I said, I didn't make it today. I'm hoping to post some clips from these sort of streams and match reactions, etc. So yeah, man, that is that. But yeah, that is where we're going to wrap up. Also, if you look at a pinned bit, I'm going on the Sunderland channel. I'll be going on that literally as soon as I jump off this to just talk about the game, I'm guessing, really. I've been on it before. So yeah, make sure you do tune into that if you can. I'll say just click on the link through the pinned comment. And yeah, currently on 6 likes. Let's get that up. Obviously, I know a lot of people watch that back on playback as well, so big up to yourselves. Steve, we gained a few new subscribers as well since the vlog and all that. New subscriber in this stream as well. I think it might have been that Sunderland fan, so big up to yourself. Thank you for that. And did post the first YouTube short as well of just the penalty they got. And that's got 1.2k views. So yeah, big up to yourselves for that. I hope to post more of them as well. And yeah, that is where I'm going to wrap up. As for content, nothing now up until I'll do a watch along to the England game. Not that I really want to, but it's just qualifiers is something to actually play for. If it's a friendly, then no, I probably wouldn't bother. But we'll see. Talk about that just quickly. I see Rashford's pulled out because he's got an injury. He had a knock in yesterday's game. So has Mount and so has Pope, but Pope wasn't going to play anyway, let's be honest. I think Fraser Foster is coming instead of him, so interesting. And we'll see how England do. Big up Joshua, the Sunderland fan. He says, how are you today? I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Overall, I'll take the point. It's just frustrating the way it was given. But is what it is. But yeah, that is where I'm going to wrap up. So yeah, David, we'll see you in a couple of weeks for that massive game. And then I will see you lot on Thursday for the England game. And then if you tune into the Sunderland channel, like I said, link pinned, I will see you on there as well. So till next time, take care and peace.